On this episode of ResiWeek, Lutron's new wallplate for Josh.ai, Nest Hubs show air quality, and check your reference. All this and more on this episode of ResiWeek.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is ResiWeek, episode 290, Demo a Room.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by
Peerless AV, driving technology through innovation.
Welcome to this episode of ResiWeek. This is your weekly roundup of all the latest news and stories for the residential AV industry. I'm your host, Matty Scott for AVNation.tv. This week, I'm pleased to be joined by two of my longtime friends. First, we have Mr. Jeremy Glowacki. He is the executive editor at Residential Tech Today. How you doing, Jeremy?
I am doing well. Thanks for having me again. Great to see you.
Thank you so much for being here. Then we have my longtime friend, Mr. Stephen Bronner. He is the owner of Pro Audio Georgia. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing great. Just running around crazy up here in Asheville, where we expanded to. So it's good times.
Excellent. So, gentlemen, we are going to kick this off, shockingly enough, with actual stories this week. There's been like no major pull, people not going to CEDIA, no major announcements. It got real quiet for a couple of days, as Stephen smiles. So we're not going to talk about that. Jeremy had mentioned to me at the start of the show that there's something like still over 100. Am I correct on that, Jeremy? 100 exhibitors on the show floor?
I did a quick count, and I got about 118. But that includes publishers and other stuff that. But
everybody and their brother.
Yeah, but it's a little bit over 100, so it's not nothing.
Okay. So if you're, and again, we'll be covering it next week, give or take, as it's going on. So it'll be fun, and hopefully some people. I can't go there. The borders just got extended again. So there's that. But other people will be there. They won't be me, but they'll be good people. It'll be sure. All right, gentlemen, let's kick this off with a story that comes to us from AVNation.tv. Lutron and Josh.ai are collaborating on a voice-controlled wallplate. What this is essentially a way to combine the Josh.ai, I believe it's the Nano, which is their little micro voice control microphone interface, into a Palladium, or in a couple of months down the road, their other two keypad lines as well, the C-Touch and the Picos, so that essentially you have your Lutron keypad and you have a Josh.ai Nano. So it is cool in the sense that it is clean, sleek, a nice way to put the Nano in there. Jeremy, when you see this is a nice addition, right? You see Palladium, you might see Josh.ai in there as well. It's a good marriage. Having it in a single wall plate, again, it's pretty. It really speaks to what Lutron's all about as far as trying to clean up that wall acme. Is there anything more to this, or is it, again, just a really nice application of those two technologies?
Yeah, I think it is a nice application of those two technologies, a nice way to bring probably two of the nicer industrial designs together in one housing. It's nothing super technical or sophisticated that I can tell, but honestly, I love the high-end Lutron interface. I love the high-end quality of the Josh.ai interface. I mean, the just tiny little piece on the wall, little stylized bug on the wall, so to speak. And putting those together in a single plate is just a really nice piece. I don't think there's much more to it than that, but this is what designers love to see. I think integrators who are design savvy and understand their client high-end qualities that in their home, they're going to gravitate toward it. I think Josh is still developing its dealer base and getting out there, so it's still pretty new. They're pretty young, relatively speaking, but to kind of latch on with a company like Lutron that's so well established, so well respected in consumer and pro levels, it's a good play for them. It really is a good partnership.
Yeah. Stephen, as I stated, I love the look of this. I love the integration of the two pieces. It just seems to make sense. My only concern is it seemed like a lot of fuss over a wall plate. And I'm not trashing it. Heck, I have Lutron wall plates throughout my entire house, and I would never put like just basic screwed wall plates in anything. Can't stand them. But like there was a webinar, there was a produced advertised video, like there was a lot of stuff into this. Is it something that was done, like were we not the audience for this? Was the audience for this the designer base? Because to me this was just it was a lot about, respectfully, a wall plate.
So I have to be gentle here because I really like Alex and I like the company that he did. But when I looked at this press release, I called several people in the industry and I asked them that exact question: was this all about a wall plate? Kudos to Alex. I think it is a nice looking wall plate, but this was way too much hype. And instead of coming out looking like they did something neat, like they could have done with a press release, it came out looking desperate. This is not an announcement. If this is an announcement, then Datacom should be in the news every week because that's what they make, wall plates and things like wall plates. I think the Josh.ai product has a lot of promise, and I think there are a lot of neat things to talk about. And honestly, it felt like maybe somebody at Lutron was trying to help a little bit. I don't know. I think every company should get the help that it needs. But this borders on ridiculous. It really does. I was looking forward to this press conference for 2 weeks. There are a lot of things that Josh can do. There's a lot of things that Josh is working on being able to do. And I was excited. And then I had some family things come up, and I couldn't make the press conference. And I was kind of bummed about it. And so I read the press release, and I was like, okay, there has to be more. I missed something. There's got to be more. And I literally called 3 other integrators, and every single person I talked to was like, no, man, it really was just a wall plate. I will say to the people who thought this was a good idea, you're fired. I would fire every marketing person that said that this much money, time, and effort put into a wall plate was a good idea. They should be fired. I don't really care who it is, frankly. You are now the laughing stock. Every single integrator that I've talked to, including 2 integrators that sell your product, think that you are ridiculous. Fix it. Do something cool and release something cool. The micro is cool. It didn't need a decoration like a wall plate. It didn't need you to waste its coolness on a wall plate. Do better. And the industry is looking for you to do great things, but this was not great. This is something that a 5th grader with a 3D printer could have done in his spare time. Let's do better. That's not news.
Well, alrighty then.
It's a good thing he was being nice to everybody. That's like a gentle way of putting it.
Hey, thanks for watching the first segment of this week's episode. To catch the entire show, please click the link below or visit AVNation.tv. That's AVNation.tv.